Hey everybody, this is luckyDminor with another episode of Player Chess FFA. Today I'm playing or reviewing a game I played with stronger players, and usually when I play with weaker or intermediate players, um, playing is just relaxation for me. I have fun. It's quite easy, even though I lose, of course, oftentimes, but it doesn't matter. Whenever I play stronger players, like in this case, 2200s, 2300s, 2100s, um, I'm getting a little nervous because, of course, I know that playing against stronger players, every little mistake I make may really have a hard consequence. And also, I'm worried about playing not up to the expectations of my opposite, because I know I should support him, he should support me, and we're kind of a teams. So I'm not always a little scared and nervous when I play with stronger players, um, especially because I know that when I play with weaker players, I can make a mistake and still win, or I can let um, material hanging and still get away with it. With stronger players, it's not about hanging items. It's more about placing something somewhere which can be double detect, and so it's not even hanging. It's more subtle, and therefore I'm always a little scared. So let's see how this game went. Um, so red is opening. I'm opening with the rook. I immediately try to shut it off with the player left of me, and green is opening with a knight. Um, and in this case, I'm quite happy that not both side players open with the king's pawn and get the queens out early. So it's more like a normal FFA game, I would say. So I learned over watching some videos of Nathan Stolzfuss that this placing of the knight is quite often played by good players, because it blocks the diagonal. It always is a threat to red, and it yes, it's a safe place, and the knight cannot be attacked. If I would have moved there, the pawn could always attack the knight. So I learned this as a new way of playing with a knight. Excuse me. So I'm quite happy that yellow locked it off with me. And it's all development moves. Every player is just starting to develop their pieces. No attacks, no defenses. Okay, red is already pushing a little further with his pawns and opening up the king. Maybe that is a point of weakness at some point. So I also open up a diagonal for my knight and possible diagonals for the queen, like there or there. Okay, fianchetto by yellow. I have to watch my pawn in the lower right corner. Green is opening a diagonal. And red is threatening my king once he would move his knight. So I should immediately do something about it, and I walk away with my king. I do not want to castle at this point. And well, since I moved my king, I will never castle in this game, of course. Okay, green is pushing, and I'm happy to let him go. I put my rook in a place where the knight defends it and the rook defends the bishop. Yellow is castling towards my side. So this is a very nice position for me. So the most dangerous player to my left decided to put his king in this corner. So he will never attack me directly from this corner. Also, he placed his pawns next to my pawns, so this is a very tight formation. So this bishop will never attack me here. This knight will never attack me here. So that's all good for my king safety. Green pushes. Also, red moves away with his king. I'm not so sure about this move. So this corner is not really completely protected yet. Okay. So, green ready to promote. What is queen doing? Attacking here. Oops, sorry. Here. No, maybe no, cannot come there. Just protecting the pawn. I'm not sure. I don't really like that setting up of the red items, but he's kind of the best player on the board, Mr. or Mrs. Quick Castle. So he may have some plan with that. Okay, I bring out my bishop. And yellow locks it further off with me. I'm also happy about that because the bishop now cannot so easily attack my bishop here. That's all fine. So green has a queen. Oh, that was the plan with red. So he wanted to push that pawn. Okay. So at this point, if we are seeing this as a kind of teams game, green has a queen, I have a solid position, I'm very safe to my left. So I'm quite happy with the situation. I push a pawn, it's very well defended, and it stops this pawn from easy marching forward. Okay, now I have to watch if that pawn moves, that knight would attack, that bishop would attack my pawn. Okay, green is castling. Well, not so sure about that, but since red also decided to put his king on this side of the board, maybe it's also not a big danger for attacks there. Okay, red moves away from my side with his knight. I'm happy about that. Also, he puts his knight in a place where my bishop can possibly attack it. But he also opens a line of his bishop towards my king side once this pawn moves, so I have to watch that. I move my rook in order to prepare pushing of my own pawn. Yellow pushes. Red and green knights get closer to each other, so there may be the first attack happening. Red moves his knight even further there and threatens a check on green. Green should immediately respond to that. And I start pushing my pawn. I'm a little scared that red will push here and then attack my pawn from behind. But in the moment I have a free pathway forward, and therefore I'm taking a chance. Also I can always protect it from here and it's protected from the bishop too, so well defended. Okay, yellow is opening the diagonal for his bishop. And green secures his queen. Possible later attacks via this diagonal. Okay, and red is having a complete phalanx of pawns here moved forward. Okay, interesting strategy. I don't really fully understand it. I protect my pawn. I wasn't so sure about this move because it weakens my king position here. But I couldn't find a better move in that moment. Okay, yellow's knight going towards green. And green secures his king in the corner, avoids checks from red. Okay, now we have a bishop and a queen facing that knight and queen. Basically, I'm spending little time here. I do not want to move forward. I cannot improve my position in the moment as I feel. I don't want to open up this situation. So I just move my rook and protect this pawn and wait. Sometimes waiting in FFA games, if there's no fast pawn pushing and promotion happening, sometimes you can just wait. Okay. Green further protects this knight 2 times, 3 times now. So defense against red. And red is pushing that pawn and threatening my king. I'm now scared about possible queen attacks here with some support of yellow. That may be a mate situation if I don't watch out. But still, there's nothing I can do in the moment. I was shortly thinking about making this move, but I was scared about the en passant. And then we have kind of an open door here. Also, yeah, of course, the pawn would have been protected by the rook. That was, yeah. Okay, yellow preparing pawn pushes. Green getting away from that bishop's attack. Further pawn pushes, and again red attacks green, possibly hoping that yellow would support the attack somehow. No real possibility in a moment. And I still wait. Okay, yellow goes towards green, so red and yellow start and want to attack green. Green finding another safe place for his queen. Not really attacking something as far as I can see. And again, red opens his diagonals towards green and also goes for pawn pushing and promotion. So just to have a chance, I don't move my rook, I move my queen. I may have a chance to get it out if needed. Also, I'm still watching this pawn and keep red to protect it. Okay. Shortly watching this here, but green should never attack me and I'm well protected. Okay. Red and yellow keep moving forward, and we have to do something so that they do not both promote queens. So this time I move the rook to another place, and I prepare my pawns to step in to stop red's pawns. Okay, again, the green queen is attacked. Moves away, stays in the center, blocks that pawn, keeps an eye on that pawn. All right. Red's still pushing, and here I'm pushing my pawn to stop that pawn from his pass forward. Of course, red can take, and he possibly will, but I can retake then, and that's a quite strong position possibly with my queen, so that queen and that queen could then possibly do joint attacks. Yellow moving his queen, doubling up with his bishop on this diagonal. Have to watch that. And green taking away the knight from this dangerous diagonal and also stopping pawn pushes on these fields. Okay. So here's a new diagonal, maybe also threatening my bishop. Once I push that pawn, there could be trades happening. So, but he didn't take my pawn. Why didn't he do that? He could have just taken the pawn. I could have taken back, and then he would have an open line for his queen. But also, of course, he would open up his king a little more. I'm not sure. So I move my rook in order to further protect the bishop, because when trades are happening, I do not want to take with that pawn. That would kind of ruin my king's safety. Okay, yellow opens up the diagonal and threatens to take here if I move that pawn. Oh, green is taken. So he's sacrificing his knight in order to stop yellow's lust for promotion, in order to free up green's queen so that it does not need block there. And also, of course, if yellow takes back, green would get 2 pawns for just 1 knight. And in this situation where both are hard pushing for promotions, this may even be a very good sacrifice. So red does not take my pawn, but pushes the other one, threatening to attack my rook. Also opening possible attacks later with this rook. Okay. So I move ahead in order to protect this pawn with another pawn. And because I wanted to have this cleared out before my rook gets attacked. So yellow takes, green takes, red takes as expected, and I can take with my rook and still have a very nice king structure. Also, this rook is now protecting that pawn. So I'm still very happy about my king position here. Also with this rook now I have a new line for attacks either to yellow or green or red if needed. I have to watch a little that we do not interfere here with green. Okay, yellow's moving back his knight. Well, just opening up a line for his rook so he could do an attack here and take the queen. Green moves away and protects that pawn, so if the bishop takes, the queen can now take. Also stopping this pawn. Okay. Not sure what this rook move shall do. So I now move that pawn to stop that pawn. And I'm very happy with my queen side here. Only undefended item is the knight, but the rook cannot come from there. So he could possibly attack here with the queen, or move the rook and then attack from here with the queen. Let's see. Okay, rook opens up. And green further protects his king, opens up an attack line for his bishop, and also has future options of attacking here with the knight. Okay, here's the attack on my knight, and I have to move away. Going back, not the best place there, but I have options going there, and then those knights are protecting each other and additional safety for my king. Okay, knight comes out again. The unmasking attack on green's queen does not happen. Maybe yellow could have played a little more aggressive in this situation. Possibly if he would have... Okay, I have to move back one step. He could have taken here. And green would protect his knight, his queen somehow, maybe here. Now red would be free to move on with his pawn. And he could just go away with his bishop again. Yeah, but this is not what happened. Okay, and green is attacking red. Also, he's having an eye on this knight. But more importantly, he's offering a trade with that that knight, threatening attacks on this pawn. If that knight trades, then this pawn is hanging. Okay, so that's a good attack. See how I can support that. So he attacks the queen so that she has to move away before that knight is traded and that pawn is weak. So if the queen takes now, then knight takes queen. Okay, where will he possibly go? maybe here putting additional threat on the yellow king, and also some diagonal here. How can I support that? So I protect the queen. Of course, I could have taken that queen. That would be stupid. I'm hanging my rook here, so those queens can now take me, but green will not. I'm attacking the bishop, but it's protected. But most importantly, if for some reason green decides to do something else, instead of saving his queen, I at least win the bishop. Okay, what is the yellow knight doing? Threatening to come here, then possibly giving a check from there, or a check from there. So I have to watch that. That is pretty dangerous. Green decides to take the bishop. That's interesting. He sacks his queen. If now red takes, I can take. Yellow is doing something. Maybe attacking me here. Green can take. Red can, well, no, this wouldn't happen. Red would take. This weakens red's position severely. So let's see what happened. So green takes, red takes, and I take, as we said. Yellow is not attacking me. I'm happy about that. He's just pushing a pawn over there. I'm not sure about this move because he opened up an attack line with check for green. Okay. So as I said, green continues the attack and the rook takes. And I give a check. And I'm sure red hasn't seen that, because now green can come, protect my king, and it's checkmate. So green sacrificed his queen, but we got a checkmate. Can yellow interfere somehow? Well, yellow can just steal a pawn here. Yeah, wouldn't steal here. Can of course attack me, but that's too late. Okay, yellow sees he cannot help at all, so just takes a few points from red. And here's the mate. And where are we now? So green already has 30 points. Has still one queen. It was just the 1-point queen that he sacrificed. Red has 9 points. I will easily surpass red, and there's no danger of becoming forced player. Also, yellow has only 6 points. So green is the strongest here, definitely. His position is not the best, since he has no knights around here anymore. There may be some threats on green. I have 2 pawns that are well developed, but there's a pawn in between, so I'm not sure how I can do. I move back my rook, of course. Yellow moves back. Green moves back with his knight. And here I'm making just a preparational move for those knights to defend each other and develop the second knight. Yellow takes, trades the bishop, and green takes. And here I believe I'm making a mistake. I'm not so sure about it. So I damaged the partnership with green just for one pawn. And also, like, those two pawns are kind of even weak since they are behind each other, cannot be protected from behind, cannot really march forward. At this point I was thinking the red king, the green king is weaker than the yellow king. Yellow has only a few points, and being third or second doesn't really matter. So I was trying to be lucky and tell yellow, don't attack me, attack green together with me. And then we could both possibly surpass his count. Yellow pushes pawns, and green immediately attacks me, and I move back. So up to now, everything is fine. Yellow is pushing pawns, green is stopping him. I'm developing my knight, preparing somehow to push my pawns too. And here I made a mistake. So I did not see this queen move. I get checked. And of course, I have a way to defend. But through that move, basically the idea of me and yellow attacking green is kind of outdated. And green, of course, will now take advantage of the check that I have. In this case, maybe he's even helping me because that pawn blocked my pawn from promotion. But he's threatening to trade rooks, and if I take, I have a double pawn here and will possibly never promote them. So I have to block, of course, the check. And here comes the knight, like discussed earlier, threatening checks from here and there. And since I do not have any field to move, this would, well, this could be stopped, but that would be checkmate. And green, of course, sees that and takes my rook. In the game, I'm stupid and I'm not seeing it. I just take the rook and I'm done. So I was in a very good situation. I created a fight with my opposite, and I didn't watch the counterattack from yellow on myself. I only watched yellow and myself attacking green. And suddenly, even though in a very good position with lots of material, established pawns, and everything's fine, I got third position here. So I was happy about taking this pawn, this rook, because that brought me 12 points. Otherwise, I would have been fourth position. But of course, I should have rather saved my king here. Okay. So, what do you learn from this? Always watch, especially when you play with strong players. I had a very good beginning. I was very slow, taking my time, and then had a great mate on blue with green support, on red with green support. So I was very happy with my playing. And then I made the worst mistake ever. Okay, how does the game continue? Green is up front in points, but, well, little down in material, but has the better pawn structure maybe. Well, I'm not sure. Taking. taking now. There's no chance for winning for green here if yellow plays it well. Okay. Taking, and there's the resign. Okay, good game. Congrats to yellow, well played. Also congrats to green. He played well with me and supported the mate, and everything was fine with green. And then I made a mistake. Otherwise, we could possibly have won over yellow also if I wouldn't have attacked green. I always have a hard time to deciding. As soon as we are 3 players only, there's often pawn pushing going on the empty side of the board, and then I get in trouble with my opposite. I didn't figure really out the best way to deal with that, to play that. Of course, it depends on the situation. If you have any comments or ideas, please let me know. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.